Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to do a video on bald hair transplant doctors. And so why a video on this? The reason being is because over the last 34 years, my observations have shown me that there are quite a few doctors in this industry that are bald. And there's nothing wrong with being bald. Uh, but what it tells you is that these doctors know something that you don't, and that is that they understand the math. At least the majority of them do. And so they know that if they're already bald or fairly bald, the numbers are just not there to achieve a result that one would consider to be pleasing to the eye. And so they opt not to have a procedure. And but that doesn't prevent them from offering the procedure. And what I will say about these doctors, or the ones that I have seen that are completely bald or very high Norwoods, is that they seem to be the most ethical. And the reason being is that they know the numbers, and I think that just my personal opinion, deep inside their mind, they wouldn't want somebody promising them something that they couldn't deliver, and in the end disfiguring them. And so they seem to have the most ethics, in my opinion. And what else you'll find is doctors that do have a lot of hair loss and have opted for the procedure that work in the industry. If you were to review those results, in my opinion, they don't look good. They're not pleasing to the eye. And so if you do decide to have a procedure, ask to see doctors, specifically doctors that work in this industry that have had a procedure. Not people that work in sales so much, because usually these people are handpicked. If you see somebody that works in the industry that has had a procedure, it's usually one of those showcase results, the 1/10 of 1%, and so they're used to sell the procedure. But that doesn't necessarily represent reality. In fact, it's not reality. And I base this on 34 years of observation and actually having had procedures all across the world, and quite a few procedures. So I have a better idea of how this all works. Another thing you want to look for is people that work in the industry that are not completely bald, but they have some hair loss. They promote procedures in ways, but they've never had a procedure themselves. And they'll usually come up with some kind of excuse, this or that. But basically, what they understand is that if they have a procedure, the shock to their existing hair could cause that hair to fall out, because that hair might be in a weakened state where it's susceptible to DHT, and once they have a procedure, once they lose that hair from the shock, it might not come back. And all that's going to grow is the hair that's been transplanted, which could very well be less than the original hair that they had. And a lot of times what happens with patients that experience this and are very dissatisfied, what the doctor will tell them is that, well, we swapped out stronger hairs for the weaker hairs that were in there. They'll just come up with some kind of nonsense, okay? And just to kind of appease the patient. But when the patient looks in the mirror, what he's seeing is less hair than when he started. And of course, that's not why they signed up for this, and that's not why they paid all this money. And the thing about it is, once the patient is in this position, there's really not much they can do. And they can go back to the doctor, or they can go back to these marketers on YouTube that are trying to sell you a procedure, and you know, unless you're going to take them to a court of law and sue them, and you're not gonna get any money for a bad result. It's very, very difficult. All you're left with is, were you deceived? Did they tell you this? Did they tell you this before you signed up for the procedure, or when it was too late? And so it's something you want to consider, and partly why you do see so many bald hair transplant doctors in the industry. They understand the procedure. The numbers simply do not add up. And you are not smarter than those doctors. You might think you are. Actually, I think that it's not that you think you think you're smarter. It's just that a lot of guys become so desperate that they're just not thinking clearly. And so you need to really slow down and understand that however bad you feel at this very moment, you could end up disfigured. So take what you're feeling now and magnify it 10 times, and it's not a joke. So think long and hard, do lots of research. Watch these marketers on YouTube. Watch them work their game. They want to be the next laptop millionaire. That's what it's all about. Anyhow, thanks for watching the video, and see you on the next one. Thank you.